Okay. As it's quite a readable report, actually. So, I don't really go too much detail on it there, but questions are fairly open to anybody to ask any questions they want on it there. If you could sort of stick, if you've got a question and somebody else got a question on the same topic, let's keep to that rather than flying all over the place there. But start off wherever you will, and let's anybody have any supplementary questions on that, please jump in, and then we'll go to the next topic there. Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. I thought why not start off with Iceland, because we haven't talked about Iceland. Deposits for a while. And it's always a good topic to refer.
Carry on.
That sounds good, man.
On page 20 on the report, it's got an update on the Icelandic bank deposits, and there is still a sizable amount of money that's not come back to the council. I think it refers Landesbanki, we're due about 7.4 million is still due to come back. I just wondered how much from Glitner is still due to come back, and in fact what is the total amount that's still outstanding to the council?
It is 9.87, it says it about it.
Yeah, well, it's not very clear.
Right, what is the 18% remains held in?
Yeah, so in paragraph 9.7 details how much we've had back from Glitner. It says that £2.5 million is still being held there.
I mean, is that 2.5 million the final 2.5 million?
Yes.
And how much? The 9.89 says that there will be a shortfall. What is the actual shortfall that's not going to be recovered?
Yeah, I think that's to do with the currency exchange, and that can change. It's hard to say. When the money is transferred to us, then that calculation will happen at the time. Yeah, it's very difficult to give an exact figure on that, unfortunately, but we're at the mercy of the exchange rates.
I mean, can you just confirm, is it the case that, are you saying that it's just the exchange rate fluctuations that's going to lead to a shortfall? Is there not a shortfall anymore as a result of either some of what deposited not coming back or a loss of interest? Is it a position, are we actually going to be recovering all the interest that we would have got?
Chairman, on 9.8.6, it says latest indications that the council will recover an amount in excess of the principal deposited in Iceland. So I think that's the question, and then the last thing to take into account is the exchange rate fluctuations.
I mean, it doesn't. Well, it says in excess. Are we going to be recovering all what we should have if we'd have got the interest, or are we still going to be losing part of the interest?
Oh, right. So the interest. No, I'm not going to be getting the interest on.
I think part of the interest.
Well, that's so if we deposit it at a rate of 4%, we're not getting the 4% interest. No, we're not.
But the capital, let's get it clear. Full capital will be received back, some interest will be received back, but exchange rate fluctuation could go both ways, either increase or the actual sterling amount received at the end of the day. So that's the...
And still another 6 years before we come back. Still a sizable amount of time.
Exchange rate benefit out of that. Who knows? Right, Alison.
That partly explains the question I was going to ask, because there's clearly, you say you'll get more back than the principal sum, some of the interest, and currency flux gives you that shortfall. But I guess the question I would ask, remind us how much you were anticipating getting back in interest, and what's your best guess in terms of what you'll get back at the end of this period?
I don't have that figure yet. I can ask the committee. I wasn't cabinet who invested the money, so I don't know what rate we were going to get, but I can certainly write to the committee with the rate at which we deposit the accounts.
Hang on for, because the rate of interest must be quite high, but a shorter period, but it's not
Yes.
ongoing negative interest, this went on for 5, 6, 7 years.
Quite. I think it's hard, yes, if we kept the funds going for that long. I think that initially they weren't the long-term accounts, long-term deposits. But we can see when we initially went in there, what was, and during that time, we can work out. It's hard to say after that time on maturity what we've got then, given the rate of decreased. So we can definitely give as much information as we can to the committee on at the time of deposit, the forecast return.
I think you'll find those were actually things that were quoted in finance papers at the time. The point I was making actually was that you were anticipating, it was relatively risky thing to do, and you were anticipating quite high returns, and they were not necessarily short term. And Landis banking in particular was longer, and it was. And there were questions about the application of that in relation to treasury management at the time.
My comment is, what good is that now? We have now got a new treasury policy, and we have got very stringent controls over where the money goes. That has been, so I think if this is all about what lessons have learned, I think we have learned those lessons. We have got our treasury policy. That is fit for good, and we are actually more conservative than the policy allows us to be in terms of what's going on in Europe, for instance. It might be time now perhaps to review it slightly, given things are starting to turn. But anyway, yes.
You'll send as much information as possible. Councillor Harper.
Chairman, thank you. Just a brief one. I wonder if when the Cabinet member writes to us with the details about the interest rates that we were hoping for when we made the investment, he would also remind us exactly how many other local authorities in this country and public bodies, local authorities of all political hues, actually also went after precisely the same kind of deal that we.
Of course. I remember somebody saying that you want to do money in Iceland, so it was a mistake that was widely made.
This is an old discussion. Councillor Gordon.
Yeah, I would change the subject actually, if I may be permitted to do that. I think people are bored by Iceland. It's a serious subject, and we've really done very, very well in managing to get back what we've got. I think we should be commended for doing it. Then to change something more relevant and more topic and important. Look at the overspend situation in the report here. I just want a bit more flesh on that, a bit more information. There's a number of different areas where I lost the page. Overspend.